God. That'd be fine, but it doesn't. A familiar scene. I'm back here at my brother's working on the Honda. So ever since the Honda swap, I've complained and bitched about this quite a bit. Basically, when you're on just a little bit of throttle, the whole engine just bucks and blah, 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 and does this crazy bullshit. It's like two-step, except you're trying to just drive down the road. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! As well as like just getting on and off throttle, it's like, it's so weird. It's like there's a huge dead spot in the throttle and then it goes. And so it's just really uncomfortable and terrible to drive. Some great suggestions came in the comments, basically saying that it's super easy and common to mix up a couple of the wires with the IACV and the TPS and stuff like that. We checked the TPS, replaced it like 3 times. TPS wasn't the issue. And so I'm over here at my brother's, we're digging into it, and we already have kind of found that the VTEC signal wires were in the wrong pins, and the wire that goes from the plug, the IACV wire that goes from the plug into the car to the ECU, we're not getting a reading on that with the multimeter on either side. So basically it's just not connected, like the wire's broken or something. He is currently running a,
just splicing a wire in right now.
yeah, exactly, we're running like another little wire alongside that IACV wire, which was also in the wrong spot on the plug, I think. So basically it's just, we're finding that there's discrepancies between this side and that.
This thing,
yeah, whoever wired this thing.
Terrible job.
When we started it up and drove it around, I was like, my brother's a fucking genius. Like, I was like, anyway, so we're now testing a wire for the IACV alongside the harness just to get a connection to it and see if it changes anything, because we weren't getting any connection through that original wire, meaning it was just dead, like it was just broken somewhere or something like that. I mean, with any luck, we connect this wire up, we start the car, and it runs and drives perfectly, and we have VTEC. We've already hooked up the VTEC wires to where they should be, we think. It explains why I didn't have VTEC, which it's a D series. You can never really tell if you have VTEC or not anyway, let's be real. And so yeah, I'm very hopeful. I'm really hoping that this twist and tape connection yields me a solid idle.
This is for testing purposes only.
Yeah. Okay, after some confusion and more figuring, the wire coming from the plug on the IACV actually didn't go to the plug that we thought it did in the first place. We must have tested the wrong wire earlier when we were figuring out where that goes. But we found that too. So now we know where the IACV is supposed to go on the car side of the plug and where it goes on the engine side of the plug. So Chris is just in the process of making those two things copacetic, matching up.
Make it happen.
The source of a lot of the confusion is that just all the colors on wires are different, because like, who the fuck has dozens of spools of wires that just happen to be Honda coded laying around? So it's like, you know, things that have to be connected to other things, you know, went from green with a white tracer to black. That black wire that connects to a plug goes to another black wire, and then off the plug goes to another Honda color that doesn't match the original color because it came from a different harness out of a different year car. And like, so hopefully when this goes together, it should idle, right? I mean, not idle, but it shouldn't go wah 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 wah.
Yeah.
It doesn't start. Okay, that was scary, but it turns out that something was just unplugged. Like a whole connector was just...
Yeah, it just didn't quite seat the connection.
Yeah, like it was pushed together and then there was no click, so that was scary. We traced a lot of stuff. We're like, I don't know why this doesn't start.
I don't have any connection here. What's going on?
All right, so here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna slowly press on the throttle body, or on the throttle cable, and see if it goes. Yeah, that's amazing.
Alright, what else do we have wrong?
I don't know, let's find out. Alright, well, many panics and confusions later. Car runs again and revs past 2000 RPM, which is good. All of the wiring is checked and double checked, cross-referenced with diagrams and stuff, but it still does the same old thing. So we now know that the wiring is correct. We're gonna when Chris is done soldering stuff, we're gonna actually test it from the TPS or the IACV all the way to the ECU and make sure that it's actually making that connection. but no solution today on that. But I might have VTEC when I leave here, so that's cool. We're just gonna get this buttoned up and throw the car in the air and fix the exhaust. All right, now we start doing the stuff that we know for sure that we can actually do. But we don't know for sure we can actually do it. Because if the exhaust doesn't fit, then it just doesn't fit. I lost a bolt. Alright, so the problem is, mounted up where it's supposed to go, that doesn't connect. And also that over there, and it's super low. But apparently that's mounted upside down. So if we flip it, it'll sit way higher. And then hopefully changing that affects this somehow, the way this sits, and it'll land it closer, but who knows. Perfect, exactly how Honda intended.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Rubbing and bumping up against all the stuff.
Yep. Alright, and then, well, that's gonna be,
Like we're gonna have to break the top.
yeah, the front. That is not a pleasant sight to see. It's like every time you jack, like the neck part, like the notched thing, just kind of wiggles a little bit. Oh yeah, that's scary. Flappy ass.
This is like the cheesiest fucking
Oh yeah.
sheet metal.
This is the cheapest exhaust I could find on the internet.
Nice. The Chinesium.
Yeah. It was literally just like, I want the exhaust gases to come out of the back of the car. Here's $100. That's the fun part.
You have a little tuggy tug.
I got you. I can tug you as long as you need me to tug you. 2 minutes tops.
Shoot, I don't even need that long. There we go.
That's a good noise. Yeah, not even close. Well, kind of close, but oh, you know, that might work. Yeah, let me link it up with this. All right, Chris is taking out the heat shield back there. That should give us a little more clearance. That hanger right there needs to connect with that. Getting ahead of myself here. Maybe we could trade this for the circular hanger in the back.
That's not a bad idea.
All right, maybe we do that. Thump. Oh, you good? You survived that one?
Oh,
It's coming back.
oh, okay. Just like a good yeet. Oh boy, that's a tight one too. Oh man, that's way easier. That fits way better now.
Now the whole challenge is getting the back section to connect.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Honestly, it fits so much better than I thought it did. The way the hangers are on that front section that we flipped upside down, I thought there's no way it's gonna fit up in that channel. Like it's just gonna bash into the unibody.
And the way it twists once you've got everything on,
Yeah, it just
it kind of
makes
pulls
sense.
itself away from all that.
Yeah.
It went from a 1 star to a 1.5.
Yeah. Cool.
There's that.
So now all we have to do is connect the muffler and tighten up our bolts.
Now I get poo in my eye. It definitely tucks it up a lot higher.
I'm an expert in tucking.
That, however, definitely needs to be bent.
So it's funny because we just went up front and tightened the front bolts that we left loose. And it's like the more shit we tighten, the better this thing fits.
Just to pull itself under tension.
It's kind of
into
funny.
place.
We're getting less and less shit to talk about
It's
this exhaust.
janky as hell, but it's working.
Yeah. Alright. 2 or 3 bolt flange?
2.
Ooh, I just broke it in half, but whatever.
Alright. Okay. Go ahead and hook up yours.
Yeah, it's just this hanger now.
Cameraman Chris. Yeah.
Getting them angles.
Get that angle, son.
I even sprayed the shit out of this with PB Blaster earlier.
It just makes it so you can't grip it with your hands.
Yeah. That's what I wanted. Oh, I think I'm in there. I got the tip in. Oh, no, I just got to
there
fully
it goes.
penetrate. Oh, and she's in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that actually is hanging pretty good over here, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was definitely not the case last time we tried this. What the heck in the hell in the freaking world?
Well, no wonder you got the wrong dang giggity on there.
That god dang. That gum died dang.
Damn old people nose hairs.
I hate the most is every time I eat, I get mustache hairs in my mouth. I've stopped eating anything that's sticky entirely. I just avoid it. Sticky is no longer my favorite flavor. So I think that's the last bolt, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Make a noisy boy.
Yeah, this thing's apparently it sounds like shit. So. Oh, I just whacked myself in the nut. That's the last bolt tight. Now all we do is start it up. Stand back here, hold the camera.
Absolutely.
Let's hear this bitch.
See if anything actually comes out the back. Oh wow, it actually comes out the back.
That doesn't sound too bad. I'll give it a few.
Yeah, give it a little. Oh god. No. It's so bad.
It is so bad. Alright, well, it doesn't sound bad at idle. I'm buying a muffler for that. we are cutting that off and putting a new muffler in the middle.
Goodness.
I don't care if it looks ugly. That is fucked. I'll turn it off, we'll drop it on the ground, let's see for a test drive. Yeah. And see if it hits VTEC. We'll try to keep it at low RPMs in the neighborhood. No.
No. The fucking starter wire was coming off.
Oh. See, it doesn't sound bad.
No. Below 1,000 RPMs, it sounds great. There.
But yeah, all the reviews say...
In here, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, that's true. It probably sounds shitty out there. All the reviews say after 3,000 RPM, it becomes insufferable. Squirrel! You know what the best part is? It's not dragging on the fucking ground.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
3,000 RPMs is the sweet spot.
Yep, 25.
Red line? That'd be fine, but it doesn't. Oh, God.
This was a mistake.
Yeah. Something's rattling.
Oh, yeah. And probably one of the bolts you tightened.
I would believe it.
Definitely no VTEC.
Yeah, no VTEC. Oh no, it's there.
Is it?
Yeah, it just sounds like it's coming on cam.
Oh.
Because that's basically all it is.
Yeah.
I'll do it again on the way back. Look at how blue the atmosphere behind us becomes.
Oh god.
It's bad.
All the oil.
Yeah, it's bad.
At no load, it sounds fine.
Alright, so that was fucking terrible. This is the loudest exhaust in the world, and I'm definitely hacking off that muffler and putting a real one in there. Important things happened today. We figured out the wiring and the problem persisted, so we know it's probably a hardware issue. Probably just need to replace the IACV. Without the exhaust dragging on the ground, it is much more pleasurable to drive. I'm gonna actually drive this thing once in a while now. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, a muffler and an IACV. When we took it for a drive, we came back with a whole bunch of rattle, and we think it's the O2 bung. So we're just gonna tighten that up real quick, and then I'm gonna head home. And that's...
I remember it was loose when we were in there.
Oh, was it loose?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's
I
definitely...
threaded it in by hand and I forgot to tighten it.
Okay. Once that's done, I'm heading home. That's the day. So thanks for sticking around and watching this fucking piece of shit get down. Imagine if we built a nice car. All right, anyway, thanks for watching, and shout out to the patrons. I heard their names are
soda can. I just no scope, yo bitch, check the bandy cam. 10 racks in my hands, call me Edward Van Hands. I was in a band, man, we were called the Band Band. Meet me at the Denny's, cause I'm cooking up a band slam. Yeah. More money than you. Ran out of pockets, keep money in my shoe. 10 rollies on my wrist, dream come true. Granting all my wish, that's what the money do. Rolling up the swish, puff till I turn blue. Double styrofoam dish, brain turned to goo. I don't really care, cause the doctor make it new. I'm really rich, and that's what the money do. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yay. Ooh, yeah. Blah, 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 pussy, money, money, weed. Yada, 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 got a water paper all green. Henny, 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 roly-polies for my team. Zanny, Molly, Percocet, and promethazine. Got a lot of Lamborghinis in my Lambo account. How many do you got? Bitch, you know I can't count. I just dropped a rack on a couple new